Is that Commissioner Hartman?
Yes.
Okay. Commissioner Davis, are you there? I don't even see her on the call. Hmm. Let's see, I think I'll give her a call. Is there a call-in number? Commissioner Davis is having some technical issues with her screen. Frank or Monica, is there?
Get that out in 1 second.
Oh, I was gonna say she should see it when she tries to join audio. The number list pops up.
Ralph already went to see.
Okay. Ask Ralph to show you the call-in number until they can get your video situated. Okay. Yeah, I know Ralph is there, so we'll just maybe wait a couple minutes. There she is. All right. We are going to start the meeting now. We have everyone, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. Good evening, everyone. I would like to welcome you all to the City meeting. Today is Tuesday, March 9th, 2021, and it is 7:03 p.m. Call the roll, please.
Okay, sorry. Mayor James.
Here.
Vice Mayor Salvino.
Here.
Commissioner Davis.
Here.
Commissioner Llewellyn.
Here.
Commissioner Odman.
Here.
City Manager Garcia.
Here.
Attorney Hansbrough.
Here.
Thank you.
Can you please close your eyes for a moment of silence? Thank you, and can you please stand for the pledge? I pledge
Allegiance to the flag
flag of the United
States
of America
and to the
Republic
for which
for
it
which it
stands,
stands,
one
one
nation,
nation,
under God,
God, indivisible,
with
liberty,
and
and justice for all.
All right, the first introduction or presentation we are going to have is the introduction of School Board Member Sarah Leonardi. She on?
Yes.
Hi, everyone. Sorry, I was muted. Thank you so much for having me tonight. I am Sarah Leonardi. I'm a teacher and the school board member for District 3, of which part of Dania sits in. And I just wanted to formally introduce myself to Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioner, and the City of Dania. I'm really looking forward to working with you all on our schools, our public schools. Some priorities of mine: transparency and accessibility, improving our facilities that have obviously been in the news a lot, and improving mental health services. I feel very strongly about working with the municipalities and building a stronger, better dialogue with our cities. So I really look forward to working with you in that. And my cell phone number is 954-412-9188. And you can email me at sarah.leonardi@browardschools.com. That's all also on the Broward Schools website. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Sarah, what schools are you responsible for in your district? Hold on. Are you in? There you go.
Thank you. So I have about 30 schools. The majority are elementary schools. There are 3 middle schools.
No, in Dania.
Yeah, so I don't have any Dania schools, but there are, part of Dania is in District 3. So part of the people who live in my district, in District 3, who live in Dania, go to schools that are not in District 3, if that makes sense. But the part of Dania that's in District 3 is north of Sterling. So it's a small portion, but I wanted to make myself available to you. And I have actually advocated a lot for Dania Elementary. We had a recent workshop on that, on improving one of the buildings there. So even though it's not in my district specifically, I advocate for all schools.
Thank you. That is awesome to hear, because I know that a lot of you all are advocates for a lot of other areas, despite what district you serve, and that is a very thankless job. So thank you for your service and coming to introduce yourself to us all. Not all of our constituents have your number. If they have any questions that you'd like to add. Does anyone want to add anything? Oh, all right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Now we'll have a presentation on the city website improvements by our Director of Finance, Frank. I'm sure he knows how to turn this up on. Oh, there you go.
Hey, hello. Okay, so I'm actually working 2 computers right now. I'm trying to make this thing make sense. All right, so thank you very much for recognizing me, and just want to give you a quick update. The city's website has been hosted by Civic Plus, which is a partner to the city. They've been a faithful partner of the city for quite a long time. We also use their agenda program. And what we're at the point now where the website is really, it looks okay, but it's not very user friendly. It's not easy to find stuff. And since we use Civic Plus and they have a ton of municipal customers across the United States, these systems, they all kind of look the same. They have a very similar look and feel. The platform is kind of universal, so it's easy for all cities to just use, and all the modules are the same. And it's really difficult to have a city stand out using this template. So I was asked to look into this and see what we can do about retooling our website. And I met with our public information officer, the IT department, our procurement administrator, and we discussed that we could go out in the future and issue a request for qualifications for website redesign, hosting, ongoing maintenance services. And again, our current provider, they are welcome to submit a proposal. They do have a new template that they use. It's supposed to be more enhanced and modern look, but what I've heard from our PIO is that it's really just the same nuts and bolts underneath, and it's really not going to serve us as well. But they are welcome to respond to that in the future. So as I mentioned, our website is not very intuitive, not easy to find information. It's going to have to be overhauled. And what we're looking at is kind of 2 prongs of this website. Would be one side of it being the public facing, selling the city as a destination for those who want to live, work, and visit the city for its amenities, and showcase really all that Dania Beach has to offer. And the other side of it is going to be providing the typical information that a municipal service provider would provide to the public. So, I mean, all that stuff has to be there, but through this process, we would clean up all of our web pages, we would streamline the language and make it much more user-friendly, and just remove anything that's sort of antiquated or doesn't need to be there anymore. So what we're recommending is that we put this website project in the 2021-22 fiscal year budget, along with the necessary funding. We'll put it in as a capital request for this coming budget year. And we hope you would support that. Separate from the website overhaul, There's been a request from several of the commissioners to have a web portal where the public can get information on current initiatives in the city, whether it be the Thousand Mermaids project or a water line that's going to be put in. And we looked into some systems and we ended up contracting with our online budget book provider to purchase their projects in Transparency Portal. And this is going to be really nice and intuitive. And we load all of our projects in there and we put them all on a map. So there'll be a map of pins. People can click on a pin, they can see a project, they can click to get more information. They can even contact the project manager. They can request to get updates in the future on this particular project or any other ones that are on there. So this software will be ready for the public on June 1st, and then we'll be able to start entering our information. So we anticipate it'll be ready for public use around August 1st. And that's something that we're doing even separate from the website redesign. This module can actually be bolted onto any type of website. So looking forward to implementing that as well. And thank you very much for your time.
Frank, what would be the cost associated with the overhaul of the website?
But we did actually obtain a proposal from our current provider, and it was in the $35,000 price range. I think this could cost anywhere from $25,000 to $75,000. We don't know offhand, but websites are very labor intensive, especially the beginning part of it, getting everything off the ground, bringing over all of our data, creating all the new content and graphics. And again, even if we just wanted to do a redesign with our current provider, we're still spending a pretty decent amount of money toward that. So that's why we felt it would be good to put this out to see who's out there and who can bring something really strong to the table that's going to sell the city.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Frank. Anyone have anything else? Questions or anything to add? Seeing none, thanks, Frank. We are going to move on to our proclamations. The first proclamation, which is for World Teen Mental Awareness Day. I'm going to bring on our Parks and Recreation to have our Youth Advisory Council present that proclamation. Let's see Cassie. All right. Hi, good evening.
Hello. Anthony should be reading it with the kids. I believe he's on.
No, they got it. They're gonna take care of it. They prepared for it, so we're gonna go ahead and turn it over to them.
All right, go ahead. Take us away.
All right, good evening, Vice Mayor, Mayor, and Commissioners. Here's the proclamation. The proclamation office of the Mayor, City of Dania Beach, Florida. Whereas World Teen Mental Wellness Day was founded in 2020 by Hollister Confidence Project to recognize and celebrate its commitment to ensuring that teens feel more confident, comfortable, and capable. Now, an annual event taking place on March 2nd, World Teen Mental Wellness Day aims to normalize conversations and dismantle stigmas around teen mental health issues. And whereas World Teen Mental Wellness Day on March 2nd is the first day dedicated to mental wellness among the teen demographic. And whereas World Teen Mental Wellness Day aims to raise greater awareness of mental health issues among teens, as well as provide education about removing stigma surrounding preventative mental health. And
whereas according to the American Psychological Association, Gen Z has the worst mental health of any generation, struggling with issues such as loneliness, anxiety, and depression. However, teens are dedicated to making a difference. According to YPO, 64% of Gen Z say they want to achieve a healthier lifestyle for overall happiness, including a stronger self-care routine. Also, 94% consider mental health very important to their well-being. And whereas teens around the world are encouraged to use March 2nd as an opportunity to practice self-care and silence their self-doubt, whether that's through exercising, meditating, listening to music, and more. Online, teens can demonstrate how they recharge on Instagram and Twitter with hashtag World Teen Mental Wellness Day. Now, therefore, on behalf of the Dania Beach City Commission, I, Kanaya Anderson, and I, Kyla Holmes, Youth Advisory Council members of the City of Dania Beach, Florida, do hereby proclaim March 2nd, 2021 as World Teen Mental Wellness Day in the City of Dania Beach and call upon our residents to show their support for our teens to learn.
Awesome. Thank you, Eric and Cassie and And the youth and TJ and everyone who continues to work with our youth. I am so excited with what you all are doing. And I'm so proud of you young ladies. Keep leading. So thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to go to Women's History Month, that proclamation. A proclamation from the Office of the Mayor of the City of Dania Beach, Florida, whereas each year Women's History Month offers an important opportunity for us to shine a light on the extraordinary legacy, trailblazing American women and girls who have built, shaped, and improved upon our nation. And whereas American women have led movements for social and economic justice, made groundbreaking scientific discoveries, enriched our culture with stunning works of art and literature, and charted bold directions in our foreign policy. American women of every race, class, and ethnic background served as early leaders in the forefront of every major progressive social change movement. And whereas American women have played and continue to play a critical economic, cultural, and social role in every sphere of life of the nation by constituting a significant portion of the labor force working inside and outside of the home. And whereas women influential in Dania Beach's history, such as E. Elvira Hill, the first female elected to the Dania Beach City Commission, and the first female mayor appointed by the commission, Leola Collins, a community educator with Collins Elementary being named after her, Mildred Jones, a community activist, Rose Lozana, the publisher of the Dania Beach Press, Bobby H. Grace, the first African-American female mayor elected in Dania Beach, Anna M. Garcia, the first female city manager of the city of Dania Beach, and Tamara James, the youngest female mayor of the city of Dania Beach, are just a few of the great women who helped change and shape the landscape of this great city. And whereas during Women's History Month, let us honor the accomplished and visionary women who have helped build our country, including those whose contributions have not been adequately recognized and celebrated. And let us pay tribute to the trailblazers from the recent and distant past for daring to envision a future for which no past precedent existed, and for building a nation of endless possibilities for all of its women and girls. And whereas this year's theme, Valiant Women of the Vote, refusing to be silent, honors the brave women who fought to win suffrage rights for women and the women who continue to fight for the voting rights of others. Now, therefore, on behalf of the Dania Beach City Commission, I, Tamara James, Mayor of the City of Dania Beach, Florida, hereby proclaim March 2021 as Women's History Month and encourage all residents of Dania Beach to recognize and celebrate the many ways that women's history has become woven into the fabric of our nation's story. I will read the next one, which a lot of cities have adopted, and I've received this from several cities. So they asked that Dania Beach joined in this COVID-19 Memorial Day. So this COVID-19 Memorial Day would be an annual Memorial Day from here. And it reads, proclamation from the Office of the Mayor, City of Dania Beach, Florida, whereas the first Monday in March has been designated as COVID-19 Victims and Survivors Memorial Day. And whereas COVID-19 is an illness caused by a virus that can transmit from person to person and has spread across the world, creating a global pandemic that is having catastrophic effects on human life, our community, and our economy. And whereas local and state governments, health departments, and public servants have taken bold actions to protect residents, support struggling economies, and find innovative ways to provide services. And whereas in response to rapid spread of COVID-19 and stay-at-home orders, essential workers have stepped up to provide critical services to protect our communities and save lives, sacrificing their own health and safety. And whereas COVID-19 has had a disproportionate impact on low-income communities and communities of color, exacerbating inequalities already prevalent in our systems that we must address as a nation. And whereas public health guidance and policies targeted at prevention, such as social distancing, wearing masks in public, and staying at home to help mitigate the spread of COVID-19, prevent illnesses, and lessen the burden on individuals and society. And whereas the symptoms of COVID and severity of COVID-19 can vary well dramatically by individual, and the long-term health implications for survivors is largely unknown, as many survivors suffer with lingering side effects of the disease long after they no longer test positive. And whereas more than 2.55 million people worldwide and 516,000 in the United States has lost their lives due to COVID-19, and in Dania Beach alone, more than 1,407 have tested positive for this deadly virus. And whereas each life lost to COVID mattered and leaves a hole in the hearts of loved ones, family members, and surrounding community. Now, therefore, on behalf of the Dania Beach City Commission, I, Tamara James, Mayor of the City of Dania Beach, Florida, do hereby proclaim that Dania Beach supports the designation of the first Monday in March as COVID-19 Memorial Day in remembrance of those who have lost their lives and in honor of those who are forever marked by COVID and continue to suffer from the impact of this virus. Okay. So we're going to move on to citizens' comments. I did not receive any citizens' comment submission forms, but if there is anyone that is on the call that would like to address the commission, if you would use your raise a hand tool to be recognized, you have 3 minutes to speak. About 10 seconds. All right, Sarah Letov. Hold on 1 second. Are you unmuted?
Yes, hi, how are you?
I'm well. State your name and address for the record, and you have 3
My name is Sarah Leftov, and I reside at 5960 Southwest 37 Terrace, Fort Lauderdale, or Dania Beach, Florida 33312. Ms. Tamara, Mayor James, and Vice Mayor Marco Salvino, and Commissioner Joyce Davis, and Commissioner, the amazing Lauren Admin, and Lori, Ms. Llewellyn, and Public Works, and everyone who stood behind Ms. Ana Garcia, and Manager Candido, and the director, Mr. Fernando, and Richard Rodriguez, and so on and so forth. I just wanted to basically say thank you. Thank you for allowing 37 Terrace to have a drain. Thank you so much. You have no idea what this has done to my personal family. Having my child be able to soon be able to walk out of her home and not have to walk in 8 inches of water, not having to be glued to the weather app, or having to constantly try to turn myself into a meteorologist trying to find out how much percentage of rain is going to fall and how much of an ocean I'm going to have outside my door. No words can express how grateful and thankful I am. I know many of you has received so many emails in the past 2 years, and I've tried very hard, for 4.5 years since I moved out here from New York to achieve this goal. And I'm just a small, simple person. And without this team, this commissioner body, and so many other people, this would have never happened. And I am so grateful for everything. And last but not least, I think I spoke to him more than I ever spoke to my husband in a year's worth, as him being a doctor. Mr. Dinser, the amazing Mr. Dinser. This person has the best heart in the world. He's come and met with me here in Sterling Oaks Estate. I don't know how many times. I don't know how many times he's taken my calls. I've been in constant contact and following up on the whole CCNA. Has this been approved? Has that been approved? When are we going into design? I am so excited for this, and I can't wait for that light at the end of the tunnel where this is you have no idea. Maybe for you, it's just a dream. For me, I've been battling this for close to almost 5 years, and I am just so thankful and grateful. Thank you.
I was going to let you run well over your time. There's not a lot of times where we get residents that come back and thank us. And so you are very well appreciated. Your comments, your remarks. It feels good to help residents. That's what we all were.
It's Tamara James, you have helped me not just with this, but if it wasn't with the first Hurricane Irma that I ever went through, and if it wasn't for you constantly texting, and Miss Llewellyn as well, I don't know if she recalls, back and forth about, we kept kosher food and how are we gonna, I will never forget, I never forget. I mean, I'm new, still considered new here to Florida, even after 4.5 years. And I'm forever grateful. I've never experienced a hurricane, or nevertheless having 13 days of no power, actually fainting. My husband actually had to revive me. I mean, it was atrocious for me, this very first hurricane of my life. But I'm very grateful that we have such a strong body, so many people who's, I have no words. I really don't know how to express myself. I didn't write this out. This is completely from my heart. I mean, you guys are just like amazing. You stand behind everything you state and you follow through. And I'm so grateful.
Well, you're family now. You don't have to keep saying you're the new kid on the block. You're family. And we're gonna all have a Shabbat dinner one day at your house. So thank you again, Sarah. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Any other public comments, citizen comments? Seeing though there are none, we're going to go to public safety reports. Captain Marks, are you there? There you go. Good evening. Okay.
All right, I'm unmuted now. Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners. I just wanted to start by thanking everybody for coming out to our ribbon cutting at the Dania Point substation yesterday. That was great to see everybody in person and have a safe little event there. So thank you once again. Since the last commission meeting, we responded to the following crimes: 1 aggravated assault, 5 auto thefts, 1 burglary building or structure, 1 burglary business, 10 burglary conveyances for mostly unlocked vehicles, 16 thefts, and 4 shoplifting calls. Within the past 2 weeks, a decrease of 4 burglary businesses compared to the 2 weeks prior, and a decrease of 2 robberies as compared to the 2 weeks prior. We also made 34 arrests since the last commission meeting, several being from the crimes just listed up above. Since the last commission meeting, our crime suppression team, we received a couple complaints, one of which was a subject loitering and littering at Griffin Park. During the investigation, the subject was contacted and found to have outstanding warrants for his arrest. The subject was arrested and trespassed from the park. We received another complaint in reference to an increase in criminal activity in Melaleuca. Our CST responded to the concerns and contacted a subject loitering in the area who had a warrant for fraudulent use of a name and lengthy history of auto theft, burglary, and armed robbery. The subject was also found to be in possession of large amounts of narcotics. Our criminal investigations unit has been busy the last 2 weeks. We had a arrest for vehicle theft. Deputies responded and conducted a traffic stop on a golf cart, which was determined to be stolen the same night. The subject was arrested and found to be in possession of several other golf carts. It should be noted that this subject is suspected of being connected to the recent spike in golf carts being stolen in Dania Beach. The investigation is ongoing. An interesting little tidbit was when he bonded out of jail the next day, he went to the tow yard to recover his vehicle, which we had already conducted a search warrant on. And as he was leaving the tow yard, he T-boned another vehicle and we arrested him again for driving under the influence. We had a fraud arrest where a subject used the victim's credit card information to make payments. The subject was subsequently arrested on a warrant. We had a grand theft arrest where a subject was in possession of $20,000 worth of fishing equipment stolen out of the city of Stewart. The subject was arrested for grand theft, resisting without violence, and a warrant for robbery. Our motor unit and commercial vehicle enforcement unit received a complaint of dump trucks speeding, disobeying the stop sign, and dropping their rock loads on the residential streets in the area of 42nd Avenue. Our traffic unit spoke with 3 households on 42nd Ave. We spent 2.5 hours inside the FP&L plant stopping each truck that entered. We advised each individual driver that if the complaints continued, they would receive a citation for the offenses they were committing. By the end of the 2.5 hours, word was out that our traffic unit was posted inside the gate, and the issue seemed to be less and less with each passing dump truck. We spoke with representatives from both FP&L and Allied Trucking Company. Both companies went out of their way to help us and address the traffic problems. It was decided that rumble strips would be installed before Tuesday of next week. The rumble strips will force the dump trucks to slow down when approaching the stop sign. Also, the 2 trucking companies that were observed on video speeding and showing no regard for the stop sign were contacted and instructed not to return. They were also advised that their services were no longer needed. The dump trucks will be entering through the residential area of 42nd Avenue for the next 6 to 8 weeks until the job is completed. Our traffic unit will be checking periodically with the residents and representatives from both companies in order to make sure the traffic problems have been resolved. Our homeless outreach team received a complaint of a subject possibly sleeping in an abandoned vehicle on the property of the New Bethany Church, located at 201 Southeast 15th Street. Contact was made with the pastor of the church, who said that the church is helping the man. He is allowed on their property and does not want law enforcement involved. The issue is forwarded to code enforcement for follow-up. Our homeless outreach team also coordinated a meeting with the homeless outreach teams from Davie PD and Hollywood PD to address situations that border the 3 cities. We continued checks of sensitive areas along Dania Beach Boulevard, and the number of homeless gathering at these locations has remained low, if any at all. Our neighborhood support unit did a food giveaway on March 2nd, 2021 with the Homeless Voice of Davie and the St. Ruth Church. We coordinated with Pastor Scott over there, and we were able to distribute 250 boxes of food, and it was a drive-through event. March 3rd, we distributed another 11 food boxes to residents throughout our city. Right now, we're in the process of scheduling active killer training for Dania Beach employees and also for Humane Society employees. We continue to have 2 additional deputies at the beach on weekends in order to address any overcrowding. Deputies will be utilizing our bicycles, 4-wheelers, and our utility vehicle. Finally, we will be having a drug take back with Walmart and the DEA. It's going to be on Saturday, April 24th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at our Walmart over on Sheridan. That completes my report.
Can you repeat that? April the 24th?
Yes, ma'am. It's a Saturday, April 24th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at our Walmart in Dania Beach.
Okay. I do have a question. It just popped into my head. Has there been any service calls or anything related to the issue that we discussed last meeting with the Fort Lauderdale wanted to give the stipends for that hotel over there?
We've been going there. I've personally been going there every day during the week, and I have not seen any of the clientele or with the wristbands like they had before.
Okay.
But we'll keep doing checks and keep the mission updated.
Okay. Thank you. Anyone else have any concerns or anything you want to say? All right. Thank you, Captain Marks.
Thank you.
Chief Pelisar. Good evening.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners, City Manager, and our fine citizens of Dania Beach. I'd like to start off by congratulating Chief Marks for getting his substation open and the city team that helped him work on that. I know that was a team effort, so congratulations. Also on the historic picture I think took place yesterday with all the police women and firewomen of Dania Beach and all our city staff. That was amazing, and I'm very proud to be part of that and have helped with that. I'd like to talk to you tonight basically about training. Our firewomen and firefighters do a lot of training. They're required, like our officers are required 240 hours a year Our firefighters are required 216 hours every year, and people who drive the fire trucks are required 228 hours every year. And just so you know, last year we finished at 92%, which is very good considering it was a COVID year. Our men and women train on things like driver training, so they learn how to make sure they're proficient in driving the fire truck. We do training in different facilities. We do a lot of hazmat training, which comes in handy like during the gas leak like we had yesterday. Our officers do training where they simulate fires and simulate different scenarios so that whenever we show up to a scenario, we're very competent in it. We also do what's called company training. That means that we train with other crews and other stations and other cities so that everybody is efficient, and when we get on scene, we can work seamlessly and get the job done. One of cases was this past week. We had a car in the water, and we had to work with Fort Lauderdale Fire Rescue, our BSO police officers, and our fire crews. We were able to get in the water and basically work seamlessly. We were able to communicate without any issues, and fortunately there was no one found in the car, but the communications and teamwork that went on that night was outstanding. You would have been proud just to watch. And with that, I can lead into, in the past month, Station 1, Station 17, we've ran 607 calls. Now, when you look at that, you say that's a lot of calls, but Station 1's running 415 of those calls. So Station 1 could still say they're number one because they're proud to boast that they're running the most calls. And, again, I just think that's commendable on the teams to stay in that station and work hard to protect our citizens and our property here in Dania Beach. So with that, if you have any questions, I am here to answer.
Yes, Commissioner Llewellyn.
Hi, Chief. So how many calls did you say?
Between both stations, we ran 607 calls.
How about concurrent calls? I know that's always an issue.
That is, so yes, so you know, concurrent calls, it is an issue because what happens when Rescue 1 or Rescue 17 gets a call, 65% of the time, there's a second call that comes in. So if one gets a call, 65% of the time there's another call. So then that means Rescue 17 has to come in. And 65% of that time of that, we usually get a call. So Dania is popular amongst our crews for knowing that when they get one call, they're going to get 3 or 4 in a row.
Yeah. So a lot of them then.
Yes.
Okay. Thanks.
Thank you, Chief Salazar. I don't think anyone else has anything to say. All right. Have a good night.
Have a good night.
Next, we have the consent agenda. Do we have any pulls?
Motion to pass.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, public hearings, 9.1. Tom, you're muted. There you go.
9.1, an ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Dania Beach, Florida, amending Chapter 28, Land Development Code of the City Code of Ordinances by amending Part 6, Development Review Procedures and Requirements, Article 675, Temporary Use and Special Event Permits, Section 675-20, Temporary Uses Authorized, and Section 675-40, Standards and Procedures for Approval of Temporary Use, to modify the regulations for approval of special event permits, providing for severability, providing for conflicts, further providing for an effective date, second and final reading of the ordinance, presented by Community Development.
Do you want to say your summary, or do you want me to?
I was waiting to be unmuted. Thank you. This is second reading of this text amendment, and it is regarding the special events. I made a full presentation at the last meeting. Just to sort of recap some of the changes, we are eliminating a great deal of the special events that the city commission will see. And we've increased the threshold for that review by the city commission to be events that are greater than 500 people in attendance or multi-day events. So a lot of the other, those smaller type events will still go through the administrative review from the multiple disciplines that look at it for compliance, but it would be able to be approved administratively instead of coming before the public hearing and in front of the city commission. So those are like the major changes. We're also adding in like the groundbreaking will be classified as a special event. But again, if it's less than 500 people, it's something that can be approved administratively. I do have the presentation prepared and ready to go through it if you'd like to see that. Otherwise, this is second reading and I'm available if you have any questions.
Thank you. This is a public hearing. Anyone to speak for or against this?
Make the motion, Mayor.
I'll second.
Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Davis,
Yes.
Commissioner Llewellyn,
Yes.
Commissioner Rodman,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Salvino,
Yes.
Mayor James.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
9.2, an ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Dania Beach, Florida, authorizing the expenditure of city funds exceeding $1 million for Mancon Inc. to provide services related to city bid number 20-006, Southeast 2nd Avenue and Southeast 7th Street Water Main Replacement Project. Providing for severability, providing for conflicts, further providing for an effective date. First reading of this ordinance sponsored by Public Services.
Yes, Fernando is going to come, but City Manager, is this the Southeast Drainage Project or is this a different project? I know it says water main.
Yeah, this is part of a full scope of another project that encompasses a larger area. Fernando, you want to get into the details on this?
Yes.
Wait, hold on.
Thank you, Manager. Oh, I think I was on video and I got off video again. Okay, hold on.
There
Okay.
you go.
You are.
Everyone, Fernando Rodriguez, Public Services. This project we discussed earlier in a previous commission meeting, I think back in October. This is going to be replacing a 72, 73-year-old water line that has given us a lot of problems over the past couple of years with leaks and some small breaks. And what's going to happen is we're going to replace almost 9,000 linear feet of a smaller pipe from 8-inch to 12-inch and a more modern, sturdier pipe material. It's going to basically provide that entire corridor on 2nd Avenue in the southeast area, provide them with a much more reliable water distribution line, as well as higher quality, obviously higher quality water. And the budget for the project amount increase, so we have to come to you to get approval for the going over $1 million in the project for construction.
Okay, I know this is then going to be a little off topic. Where are we with the Southeast Drainage Project? I feel like that's been going on for like 5 years.
We feel the same way. We've been really held up by the Second Amendment that the county had to make to be able to provide the funds for the surtax money. The Second Amendment basically changed some of the regulations in the distribution of the money to the different cities in Broward. And that is has now been passed by the county, but now there is contract arrangements have to be made between the cities, different cities that are getting the money, as well as the county. We're almost finalized with that, and we hope to start the sign in May, perhaps in April. We wanted to do this much earlier in the year, but it hasn't happened. It hasn't been our fault.
Okay, thank you. All right, this is a public hearing. Anyone to speak for or against this? Do we have a motion?
Move to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Lauren, we got you. Commissioner Ivan said aye. All right. 9.3. Thank you, Fernando.
Items 9.3 and 9.4 are for the same property. They are sought to be continued to the March 23 commission meeting. I'm going to read the titles anyhow. And of course, if anybody from the public wishes to speak at this time, knowing they will not be heard tonight, they would be authorized to do that. 9.3, a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Dania Beach, Florida, approving a variance VA 120 to section 205-10-0 of the Land Development Code, the code, to permit a building height of 61.83 feet, where a maximum building height of 35 feet is permitted in the IG zoning district, and approving a modification to the previously approved site plan for the construction of an approximately 115,000 square foot industrial building in the IG industrial zoning district under SP 039-20 modification submitted by U.S. Crane and Rigging LLC on behalf of the property owner Pamela K. Hayes as trustee of the Robert L. Elmore July 2010 Revocable Trust for the property located at 2980 West State Road 84 in the city of Dania Beach, Florida, as legally described in Exhibit A. Conflicts, further providing for an effective date. It's a community development ordinance, resolution. I'll read the second one as a companion, but if there are people to speak, we can hear from them. Second is a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Dania Beach, Florida, approving a variance VA 08020 to section 205-10D of the Land Development Code to permit a building height of 64.5 feet, where a maximum building height of 35 feet is permitted in the IG zoning district, and approving the site plan SP 071-20 for the construction of 112,931 square foot industrial warehouse building in the IG industrial zoning district, submitted by Dina Gray Esquire for Green Spoon Motor LLP on behalf of the property owner Pamela E. Hayes as trustee under trust dated December 24, 1991, for the property located at 3035 Southwest 36th Street in the city of Dania Beach, Florida, providing for conflicts, further providing an effective date, also a community development item.
Right, Corinne?
Muted.
There you go.
Hi, there you are. Thank you. So I did want to mention that these are actually two separate properties, two separate site plans, but both are being requested for continuance to the next meeting, which is March 23rd.
Got it. Thank you. Is there anyone from the public to speak for or against 9.2? I mean 9.3, I apologize. Do we have a motion in a second?
Move to continue the item to the 23rd.
Have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right, is there anyone from the public that wishes to speak on item 9.4?
Move to continue the item to the 23rd.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Great. Discussion and possible action. The first item that I have on here for discussion is the ceremonial policy concerning proclamations. I know this has come a couple of times for different revisions. I did have a request from Urban Outfitters that wants to open up in Dania Point, and they requested that we had that they receive a proclamation, not saying that the proclamation has to necessarily be read at the commission meetings, but I was alerted that it is prohibited from what we have brought back. The last time we discussed this as a commission, we did not want to support giving businesses proclamations. I am bringing this back to our attention to see if this is something that we want to include in giving a business a proclamation that they're opening. I think honestly that it's a great idea. It doesn't, like I said, it doesn't have to be on the commission, but to be able to have that a part of their ribbon cutting or just to celebrate anyone that is investing in our city as a business owner, I think they are deserving of at least that type of recognition. But it is up to the board to discuss that. Does anyone want to speak?
I just want to make sure that I'm clear because I don't think that I was a part of the previous discussion. So I just want to make sure that I'm clear on what it was and then what we're going forward with or what the request is now. So my understanding from what you've said so far is that whenever a business opens, let's say the Chamber of Commerce or whatever, a new business in Dania Point, at this point, the way the ordinance is now, we would not be able to recognize and celebrate that business with a proclamation. And now you're bringing that back to say, do we do that as a commission? Do we do that individually? How would it work now as opposed to how it worked in the past?
No, I'm bringing it back to say, is it something that we all want to support in allowing them to have a proclamation or not? So I think that when we first went back and forth with the proclamation and the ceremonial items, we kind of picked someone else's template and kind of tried to add and take away from that. I don't think we had any businesses, as far as I've been elected, there hasn't been like businesses that wanted to have a proclamation on that. So that I don't think that we thought that would be an issue or not. Because again, I hadn't received any requests from businesses until recently, like last week. And so I'm bringing it back to see if that's something we want to amend to allow us to celebrate them with a proclamation from the city.
Okay.
I'll give you my first gut reaction. It seemed a little weird to me. I don't know. We've had so many problems in the past with proclamations, and I just don't want to start.
Your audio is a little messed up. Your audio is jumbled. We can't hear you. Like a frog.
Like a frog? Well, can you hear me better now?
Yeah.
I was just gonna say it seems a little weird to me, but typically, city manager, do other cities have proclamations for individual businesses?
If I may, through the chair, Mayor?
Sure. Yes.
Well, actually, it is customary when the mayor or the city commission get a request for a proclamation. It kind of brings marketing and a celebratory type of opportunity to that business, to the commission, to the city. In my former cities, it has been done as requested. You know, particularly if they're legitimate businesses here in our city. I can only see it as a win-win based on my past experience.
Okay, well, I'm just gonna cross my fingers that people use it appropriately, and I don't have an issue with it then.
Vice Mayor Salvino?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. What was the reason it did not go through last time? I may not have been there when this happened.
I don't remember it being a big discussion on that portion of it. Again, there were other issues with other items, and we kind of went and piggybacked off of a template from other cities and kind of just, and then when we reached one thing that was an issue, we kind of brought that back and kind of changed it, say, okay, yeah, well, second thought, we want to do that. And so this is just another one of those things that happened to come up. So where we're discussing it now, I don't think there was a major discussion beforehand. I don't remember.
Okay. Did they ask for the proclamation or did you suggest it?
No, they asked for it. They reached out.
Okay. Just curious. I mean, I'm listening to what you're saying. I have an opinion that, then it might open a can of worms, but then I also hear the manager say that it's good for the city to show that we care a lot about them being here.